what actually constitutes harassment by an ex? What does that mean? Well, my name is Goldman. I'm the director and founder of Goldman and Associates. Our firm has a primary focus on family law issues here in Michigan. And today we're continuing our video series designed to educate and inform the public, so please subscribe to our channel. We get this a lot. So-and-so's harassing me, and harassment is a term that nowadays gets thrown around by everybody. In the workplace, outside of the workplace, it's 74 degrees instead of 72. Somebody says, I'm being harassed. This is a hostile environment. People throw that term around like nothing, and to such a degree that it has lost all its definition and all its value. It's been so watered down because everybody screams harassment immediately because they think that means something. In order to actually show a court that you're being harassed by an ex, you're going to have to show a pattern of unwanted contact for no valid reason. Unwanted contact for a valid reason won't help. In other words, you may not want to have contact with your ex, but if it's necessary to have the exchange of the child, you're stuck. That's not harassment. That's just you having a problem with your ex, and you know what? You're going to have to put your feelings in check for the purposes of the minor child. You got to understand that. Threats of physical harm, that could constitute harassment. Maybe they're outright threats. Maybe they're veiled threats. I hope something unusual doesn't happen to you or your car, or, that could be considered a veiled threat and a type of harassment. I've seen the court rule that excessive nonstop telephone calls and texts, just lighting up your phone with all this screaming text, profane, things like that, that can be regarded as harassment. But I think the world over would see that conduct like that is generally considered harassment. Repeatedly showing up uninvited to the workplace of your ex, to maybe social functions. Your ex and his new girlfriend are out at a restaurant somewhere. You find out, all of a sudden you happen to show up table for one. You're watching them. I could see where somebody may find that that's a little bit too close. That's a little bit weird. And doing it multiple times could rise to the level of harassment. So you got to watch out for that. And what's the reason why you got to watch out for it? Because this behavior, it can often be used as grounds for a PPO, a personal protection order, where the court can actually order someone to not be within 500 feet of another person, to not be, have any contact with them, any non-incidental contact. It's hard for the court to tell a person not to go to, a Somerset Mall. But at the same time, if a person is constantly showing up where the other person is, and it's becoming too coincidental, and they show you a chart, I was at all these places, all these random places throughout the week, Judge. Every single one, she shows up. I was at all these places for these 2 weeks, and miraculously, every single time I'm at these places, there he is. If the court sees that that's what's going on, the court's going to find that there is an intentional effort to harass the other person and may very well enter a personal protection order. Obviously, every case is different. Every situation can go from being completely harmless coincidence to an actual form of harassment. And sometimes it may be hard to tell. If you have questions about your case, reach out, and we'll be glad to help you out.
248-588-3333. 248